Welcome back to the channel, folks. Sammy, original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web. Bringing you something different today. So, over on my Discord, over the last couple months, we have been hosting a couple tournaments. A couple tournaments indeed. Now, one of the tournaments that recently finished about a month or so ago was the Caustic Finale Tournament, hosted by Valior. Right here. What a guy. He's the moderator of my Discord. Thank you very much, Barry, for all the wonderful work that you do. Now, what is the Caustic Finale Tournament? Well, we had a lot of people participate in a tournament, and all these people played versions of Caustic Finale, from the original version to a smaller version to a high funds version to ultimately the final battle, which is a 2 versus 2 version of Caustic Finale, but each player gets to control 2 armies, so it's going to add a interesting little dynamic to it, folks. And without further ado, let's go ahead and see who the finalists of the Caustic Finale tournament was. We have it, folks. The finalists of the Caustic Finale tournament were Bogeus and Forgotten Infantry. CO profiles right here, folks. As you can see, both of them are wonderful, wonderful people. They made it all the way to the finals. They fought hard and they fought well, and now they fight each other for our amusement, folks. Now, this is a for fun tournament. There's no grand prize except for being able to call yourself the ultimate Caustic Finale nerd. And that's about it, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see. What went down in the Caustic Finale tournament. So the other thing, folks, is this Caustic Finale tournament, it is actually a tier 2 plus tier 1. So each player was allowed to pick one tier 2 CO and one tier 1 CO to duke it out with. As we can see here, Bogeus has gone with Lash and Adder. 2 very strong picks when it comes to Caustic Finale. Lash is actually boosted up a tier due to the amount of terrain, mixed base, and infantry warfare. That's basically why Lash is boosted up. Max, well, he's just Max. Forgotten Infantry went with Max for his tier 2 pick, and Max is just a powerhouse. No questions about it. Just a strong guy. And then Adder, you know, he's a good all-rounder, folks. He's definitely a good all-rounder, so yeah, he's a good pick. I like the Adder pick here. You can't go wrong, especially when it comes to infantry battles and movement bonus. You just can't go wrong with that, folks. So the other thing you can't go wrong with is obviously the standard infantry builds, because you got to get the infantry on the field. It is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, even on a 2 versus 2 Caustic Finale matchup. Now, as we can see here, both players are progressing their infantry. They are not being forgotten, folks. There is no forgotten infantry here today. There is only movement. And we can see here, boom, Bogeus already going for a very interesting move. He's going for an interesting move already, folks. He's already got the infantry boosted, ready to grab one of the contested properties. Obviously, Forgotten Infantry does not want to go and interrupt that. That is a losing gambit. You don't want to be interrupting Lash on a city. I mean, you can, but you don't really want to, because right now the comm towers are already pre-owned by each player. So in addition to Lash's day-to-day ability, she also gets plus 10% firepower from the comm tower. So she's essentially Kindle on that city. The other thing, though, is Max will be a 130% firepower max day-to-day. The Adders will be 110% firepower day-to-day, and that will also mean that when you use a co-power, each of these characters will easily break the threshold of 120% firepower in order to bust people off of cities, and that alone is very strong. It's very strong indeed. Forgotten Infantry, boom, boom, boom. Quadruple infantry movements here, bringing the infantry up north. Right now, he's bringing the infantry up north. He's going to try to grab 2 of the cities up there. And if he grabs both of the cities, that's going to put him in a very strong position here. Is actually, you know, he's in a little bit of a situation down south, because Bogeus has already gotten the corner property. Forgotten Infantry does not have the corner property in the opposing section of the map, so he's definitely going to have to speed up a little bit there. But the one interesting thing about this map and this format here is, since you don't have to capture the comm tower, you actually get to use a little bit more of your forces elsewhere. So you can put them on, you can send them more towards the middle instead of focusing on the comm tower corner as well. You're just going to be getting that infantry on the city, and then just keeping them around there, maybe move them to the comm tower. That's about it. That is about it, folks. As we can see here, Forgotten Infantry has busted out the double tanks. One max tank, one adder tank. Let's flip and go. Whoa, bogus. Bogus. Oh, look at this. He's got himself a little interrupt over here, folks. Oh, he's got 2 interrupts. Alrighty. Okay. 2 interrupts. 2 interrupts is pretty interesting, folks. So, yeah, this interrupt here, not too bad. Although this is in range of 2 infantry right here. So this infantry could potentially be blasted away. There is a tank right here that can attack this infantry. And curiously enough, this tank is not in position to actually block it. So I think this might be a little bit of a blunderino, but you never know, folks. Maybe it was all part of the plan. Maybe it was all for charge. You never know. You never know with these players, folks. As we can see here, boom, boom, more movements. Tank going into the center of the map. Now, both players are busting out the tanks. We got lots of tanks. Lots of tanks on the field. Now, the other thing about this format, too, is the CO positions, like your turn order, are super important in these, because you can actually have units that block your allies' movements as well. So you really have to be careful with your movements in order to make sure that each player, each turn, is as strong as it possibly can be. We got a 6-6 engagement over here, folks. This is why you don't want to be attacking Lash on the city. It's not very good. The other thing that's not very good is this infantry that was hanging. That's unfortunate. But another 6-6 trade over here. So these infantry, ooh, they are going to get hit. They are going to get hit with the force of 1,000 trucks, folks. All right, there we go. It is now Bogeus' turn once again over here on day 6. Let's see what he's got in store for us today. Now, what is possible? That is the big question, because this guy is out of position, so we can't do this. This corner is in trouble. This corner is in trouble. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, folks. This is a troubling corner, but there's an interrupt here, so that can definitely go down. This guy can get hit, so there's moves. There's moves. This infantry could probably get KO'd with the 6 and the 2. That is definitely a possibility. Let's see what he decides to do, though. Oh, is he gonna get it? Ooh, he doesn't get it. He doesn't quite get it, but it's a pretty significant chunk of damage. Ooh, that's an interesting move. I don't really. Ooh. Unfortunately, I think Bogeus might have forgotten who he's fighting here. He is fighting Max with 130% firepower and a 110% firepower adder. So combined, they should be able to take out a tank on a city, and Max attacks first, so that's definitely a little bit dangerous. But he made a move and he went for it, so let's see how it plays out. Forgotten Infantry. What a guy, folks. What a guy. What a strong guy. Let's see what he decides to do here. Yeah, he's going in for it, folks. Oh, he does 50% damage. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord of lordy. That is a lot of damage. Another tank moving in. Double infantry tap over here. Infantry clear, and then going to threaten the city. Dangerous. Dangerous. But busts out another tank. Very cool. Forgotten Infantry. Yeah, you could tell. You could tell that Forgotten Infantry was definitely thirsty for that attack. He's like, oh, this is going to be the first thing. It's going to be the first thing I click on when I take this turn. Boom, there it goes, folks. Taken out. Ooh. Definitely a devastating blow. You don't want to be losing a tank this early, folks. It's very unfortunate, but it's now Bogeus' turn once again. Let's see what he manages to do. He caps a city, goes for the additional capture, busts out a tank. Got to be getting the tanks on the field, folks. But doesn't really have too much else that he can do. Now, does do a little bit of poking up north. Definitely is denying that city up north. But whether or not that's going to be a long-term solution is yet to be seen. But the infantry right now, they are taking heavy damage. Heavy damage. All right, like this section right here. Holy moly. That took a lot of damage. And I don't really think that there's too... I don't really think that... It does not look, to me... No, wait, hold on. Maybe. There is actually... Okay, so there's a small chance that something could happen. Because, like, infantry can move here. This infantry can move here. There could even be an infantry sacrifice. That should be able to take this guy out, which would allow this tank to move in and attack this tank. Maybe even buy another tank. So, I don't know. There's definitely some potential here. But whether or not it's worth the sacrifice, this is another question. Because technically, Forgotten Infantry right now is up a tank. So, I don't think he really wants to be too reckless with his tanks. You know, I think he wants to keep his tanks in good fighting health. He does go for that KO, though. And then he goes for a block with the infantry. Okay, not too bad. Day 8 over here. Forgotten Infantry. What's he going to do with the Adder? The Adderino gets the clear on the infantry. Gets an interrupt because Bogeus was attempting to go for one of his cities. And he's not going to let that happen. Oh, no. No siree, Bob. He's not going to let that one happen. He's not going to let that slide. It's now day 8. Bogeus. Oh, my lord. He is just going up with these tanks, folks. Oh, he does it for the power. All right. Interesting. But what does he have available for the power? He's got lots of infantry up north. But what is he going to be able to do with those infantry up north? The other very curious thing about this format, too, is as we can see here, the 2 tier 4 COs, they're stuck having about 6,000 income each. So they're not really going to be able to buy tanks too much. You know, Bogeus can buy 1 tank right now, but he's not going to be able to buy a second tank or even an infantry to go with it. So you definitely have to be very cautious with your purchases. All right, he does the side slip so that he can get the KOs on the infantry there. Very cool. Gets another KO. And buys the artillery infantry combination. All right, so that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. But the infantry up north are definitely going to get hit by Forgotten Infantry's tanks. Like, that's a given. Like, 112% that's probably going to happen. But one of them gets injured. There we go. Another tank gets injured. Ooh, multiple attacks. Multiple attacks. Beautiful. Absolutely devastating. 2 tanks this turn. Holy moly. How did Bogeus manage to save so much money that he can buy 2 tanks? It's wild. It's absolutely wild. You could, like, you would never expect. Never be able to expect it in your life. All right. Bogeus is also the one that eliminated me from this tournament. So yeah, that's a thing. Congratulations, Bogeus, on that. High funds, Caustic Finale Kindle gameplay, folks. It's volatile. Absolutely volatile. Alright, Forgotten Infantry goes in, attacks the tank, does pretty respectable damage, manages to get the side slip. Okay, so what are we going to do with the side slip? There's an interesting little play down here, because he could double tab this infantry taking it out. Like, that's probably going to happen. He could go in with 1 attack and start a capture, but I think maybe taking out the infantry might be a little bit better. He might go for the attacks up north, too. I don't know. It's possible. All right, so he goes for the attack and the cap. Yeah, he's going for those north attacks. Those north attacks are dirty. Absolutely dirty. Dirty powers over there. Strong. Okay, getting a little defensive terrain up north. Joining the infantry together. Building another infantry combination. That's leaving him with 3,700 funds in the bank for tomorrow. That's going to allow him to at least get a big boy, get a big old tank on the field, so that'll be nice. All right, boom. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. Takes out multiple infantry. Takes out another one. Going in for the heals, and now taking a strong defensive position. Actually, this is a strong offensive position. This is putting a lot of pressure over on the Blue Moon side right here. He's got multiple tanks. Oh my god. And Forgotten Infantry. He's only got 12k in the bank. He could obviously buy a tank right here. But whether or not that's going to hold long term, that's a big question. That is a big question. There's an attack right here too. He's going to have to fortify this area. Like, he's not going to be able to push out. If he pushes out too far, there's definitely the potential that Bulgaeus could swoop in here and just absolutely devastate this area. So let's see what he decides to do. Very curious to see what's going to happen here. Goes for the defensive position. Alrighty, so at least in this position, Forgotten Infantry, he knows that there is a potential threat here. So he doesn't want to really push in too far, which I think is great. I don't think you really want to be pushing in too far. Now, I think that there is some very interesting potential here. Very interesting potential, but we're gonna go over that in a moment. Because right now, we got the double tap. Oh my lord, would you just look at that? Forgotten Infantry, he finds these plays, man. He just finds the plays. He breaks through, he attacks the artillery. Very unfortunate for Mr. Bulgaeus, but extremely unfortunate for the Forgotten Infantry, because his infantry do not forget how to attack. They know how to attack, folks. They know how to get those luck rolls. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now it is Bulgaeus' turn. Let's see what he manages to do here. Attacks with the arty, attacks with the infantry, goes in, and what can he do? He can buy a tank. He could buy a tank up north, which might have to be done. He could go for mech, though. There is potential for a mech play up north, and maybe that might be the better of the two plays. Obviously, getting a tank would be very good, but you don't want to neglect the south. South is very important. So let's see what he does. Is he going to go tank up north? He goes tank up north. Okay, very cool. So just thinking about this turn right here, we can see that we almost have a terrain tactics, which is very interesting, but I think that there is potential here. I think there's some very interesting potential, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it depends on how much charge we can get. If we can get enough charge, there's definitely some moves here, but worst case scenario is I think that maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so like there should be an attack right here. That should be a given. This guy should go in here. I think there's an attack over here where we could swing these guys over here, and we can get a 2-shot on this tank over here. We can definitely get an interrupt over here. I think at this point we kind of ignore this and we send this army over here and we pick off the weakened units. We pick off these tanks over here, and then we come back and do some damage. Like, it's pretty difficult to attack into this. So I think maybe something like that might be a little bit interesting. I remember looking at this game before, and I kind of did map something out, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely some possibility, but you know, it's kind of risky. It is risky, but I think there's definitely some potential here. So let's see. All right, so he goes in for the play here. So he takes out the tank, which is cool, or takes out the cap and infantry, which is cool. But he doesn't take out the 2 tanks. And this tank surviving with 5 going up to 7, especially with a max with a power. That's scary. That is some scary stuff, folks. We can see here, boom, boom, double taps that tank, takes him out. Infantry and tanks are now moving out. Another tank has entered the fray. And now there's no way to actually reach these tanks in the south, which is very unfortunate. Well, actually, no, that's not true. That is a dirty lie, folks. That is an absolute dirty lie. There's an attack right here. There's a clear here, and probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With terrain tactics, we can go in and move a tank right here and take this out. So these 2 tanks can still be taken out. Very interesting. Very interesting. What does Forgotten Infantry decide to do over here, though? That is the big question. He's going to go in for a capture. He's going to go in for a tank clear. Move the other 2 tanks away and build another tank. All right. All right, that's what we got going on here. It's now the Yellow Comet Army's turn. Cap in the city. Takes out a tank. Puts his, you know, there's definitely some potential that Forgotten Infantry might get a co-power, but it's a little far-fetched. That he's going to be able to get one, but there is definitely some possibility. But I don't know. I don't know if he's actually going to get it. We'll find out. All right, goes for the attack, goes for another attack, goes for an attack. and goes for an attack. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Cool. Manages to take out one tank. One tank sitting at 6. But a 6 HP tank with Max's super firepower that he's about to have is definitely something to contend with. Like, that is going to be some very strong tanks. But Forgotten Infantry is not even going for the co-power, folks. He's feeling confident right now. He's going in with his tanks. He's feeling good about this right now. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got like 7 blue tanks, all in very strong positions right now. It's going to be very difficult for Bogeus to break this line. Oh my, folks. Let's see what he does here. All right. Busting out the mechs. Forgotten Infantry. He doesn't just forget about infantry, folks. He hasn't just forgotten about infantry. Or he doesn't forget about infantry, but he also remembers mechs. That's what I'm trying to say right now. Is very difficult to speak language. All right. Oh, he gets the one-on-one clear too. Nice. Bogeus getting that beauty luck over here. All right, builds a tank. And it's feeling okay. So, the center is looking pretty risky. But Bogeus has, like, a lot of units. Okay, so we got a very strong area right here. But we're up north. We gotta get these guys down here. These guys right now, this army and this army, that's a strong place to be because they can shift down here. They can shift over here. They can shift anywhere that they want to go. Ooh. There we go. There's like a scary bug, man. Scary. Absolutely terrifying stuff. So, yeah, when you're in the center in Caustic Finale, you can shift anywhere you want. You can cause as much havoc as you want. Anything can happen. But Bogeus, he's captured the city, folks. There is a day limit here as well. It's about 30 days. So you do have to win the game by day 30. And if you do not, it comes down to captures, folks. Currently, at the moment, now, because of that, Bogeus is ahead. He's ahead by 2 properties. And when you're dealing with such low funds as well, it is definitely a huge bonus to be ahead by 1k on each side. But Forgotten Infantry has now got the super co-power, folks. And you know what? You can have all the income in the world, but if you don't have any units, you might not win the game, folks. There's definitely some potential here for this attack, so let's see what he manages to do. He gets 1 attack right there. Huge flipping attack. Another huge attack. Another huge attack. Oh, and see now. Now he shifts down. Oh, he is shifting down, folks. He is going downtown. He is going downtown. Terrifying. That was a pretty brutal max blast. Super co-power. Max blast. Trademark. Strong stuff, man. Strong stuff. And then the Forgotten Infantry adder gets to come in here and do an additional attack. Holy macaroni and cheese. Even interrupts the city by sacrificing the infantry. Now it is Yellow Comet's turn. What are we going to get accomplished here as Yellow Comet? The artillery and tanks up north are still being pretty strong. We might be able to grab that corner. But now we're playing a game where we need to pump out as many tanks as we possibly can, as quickly as we can, all day, every day, non-stop. Because there are too many max tanks in the front lines here. And all it takes is 2 max tanks plus a third to block a property, and we don't want that to happen. That's a big attack right there. Big attack up north. Nice. Nice. Good stuff. All right. Got another tank on the field. Beauty. Absolutely beautiful. Day 14. Max. Post Super Co-Power Max. Still out here. Still being a menace. What's he going to accomplish now? Manages to take out another tank. Moves back. Move the mouse out of the way. It moves back over here. Ugh, dangerous. Oh my god. All the tanks are down south now. This is a terrifying position to be in. I would not want to be in this position personally. Forgotten Infantry now has the adder. The adder man is taking control. Manages to take out an infantry. He even moves 2 tanks down south. Oh my god, Bogeus. Bogeus needs money. That's what he needs. He needs to have enough. Like, he needs to bust out the flipping classiest unit in Advancers by Web. The classy medium tank might be the only thing that can stop this push. But the other thing that could stop the push is definitely a prime tactics. Having a prime tactics right now could be extremely good. It would, at least at the bare minimum, it would be able to guarantee the fact that the base will not fall this turn. And that is super important. We can't, like, that base, the base cannot fall. It cannot fall. It is the most important thing in the universe right now. Day 15. Are we going to have the prime tactics? Oh, no prime tactics. We're saving the prime tactics. Very interesting. Very interesting. Goes up for an attack. Builds a tank. So now there's double threat over here because Bogeus is putting a lot of pressure over on the base. He's putting a lot of pressure over here on this base. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he doesn't have 2-tap potential over here, unfortunately, but there is definitely some pressure over here. If this tank was like 1 square forward, there would be 2-tap potential over here. And that's scary. That is definitely scary. But he doesn't have that right now. And I think Forgotten Infantry. Ooh, he's got some moves. He's got some moves over here, folks. Let's see. Let's see what he manages to do with it. Takes out a tank. Oh my god. You know what? Oh my god. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, so I don't know if Forgotten Infantry is going to see this, but if he sees this oh my god, he sees it. He absolutely sees it. He knows what's going on here, folks. He's got the flipping chat logs, folks. He goes in for the attack. This is dangerous. This is flipping catastrophic right now. This is red alert. Danger, super danger territory. Forgotten Infantry, he uses the power, folks. He uses the flipping power. This power is going to allow him to go down here, get a base lock. He just flipping base locked the Bogeus. He base locked the Lash. Ooh. That is dangerous. I don't think that would have been possible if he had used the prime tactics, though. So not using the prime tactics definitely allowed for that base lock here. Forgotten Infantry, well played there, folks. Well played. That was a strong push. But it's not over, folks. It's definitely not over. Bogeus, he's not the kind of guy to just give up. He's still got units up north. He could potentially get a base lock up north, too. He's just got to play his cards right over here. He's got to play his cards right. It's day 16. Prime tactics. Let's see what we do here. Get the double tap. Oh, infantry onto mech prime tactics. Oh, my lord. Gets the KO. Gets the big attack. Well, little attack, but it was an attack. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right. Infantry takeout. Another infantry. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. That is another base lock. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. Goes in for the double attack as well. Day 16, Forgotten Infantry moves over, gets the attack. He's got the double base lock, folks. He's got the double base lock. Oh, my lord. Oh, my gosh. How do we even come back from this situation, folks? Bogeus, he is not giving up. He is hammering. He's hammering. He's got one shot, one opportunity right now, folks. He's got to get a base lock. He's got to get some damage in here. What is he going to do? How is he going to accomplish this? He's going for a double cap right now. Joins the tanks together. And he builds the flipping classiest unit in Advancers by Web, folks. He builds the classy medium tank. It's on the field. It's ready to go. But is it too late? We'll find out. The extremely scary thing about this entire situation right now is the fact that Forgotten Infantry, he's got multiple infantry over by Yellow Comet's HQ. Now, all he really has to do is he just has to join 2 of those infantry together, move them down south, and then he's got capping potential on the headquarters. Like, that's all he's got to do. He doesn't do it, though. He does not do it. He's going for the attacks. Very curious. Very curious indeed. And he moves the artillery right by the Blue Moon HQ so that it defends. Goes in for the mech attack. Goes for the attack on the infantry. Manages to take out 2 infantry. Takes out the tank. Oh, and he almost takes out another tank. We are going full throttle up north, folks. These guys have a short window of time to get down south in order to take care of business. Will they be able to do it? Oh, and look at that. That's an attack on an infantry, folks. That wouldn't have been possible if Forgotten Infantry had actually moved the infantry and gone for the capture, but he did not. He did not go for the capture. He went... Well, actually, he went for the capture, and that's why he couldn't go for the HQ, but now the infantry has been destroyed. 5 plus 5 equals 10, folks. And 10 plus 10 equals 20. And 20 is how many hit points an HQ has. This game is on a flippin' clock. It is on the clock. It is on the timer. They have joined together, folks. They've joined together. We have activated the side slip. The mech goes in, gets its value. Oh my god, and there goes another tank, folks. Day 18. The mech has been destroyed by the artillery plus tank fire. Very strong. Going in for 2 more attacks over here. And the Yellow Comet army is absolutely going wild over here. They are going wild. We got a medium tank moving in, taking an engagement. Tank moving in, taking an engagement. Another classy medium tank has moved in. The comm tower is now being acquired. Oh no. Oh dear. The comm tower. We can't lose the comm tower. Forgotten Infantry has now busted out the classy soon in advances by Web, folks. He's got a classy medium tank of his own. And a medium tank has just been struck by an artillery. Absolute code red. Oh, double absolute code red. The HQ is now being captured. Multiple properties are being captured. It is now day 19. Bogeus resigns. Both characters. And the game is over. The winner of the Caustic Finale Tournament is Mr. Forgotten Infantry himself. Congratulations to Forgotten Infantry. What an absolute unit. This man fought hard. He fought well. And he is now the Caustic Finale King. Nobody can defeat Forgotten Infantry, for he is the greatest Caustic Finale player of all time. And this was great. This was an absolute banger of a tournament. I didn't want to go over every single game in the tournament, but I wanted to go over the finals, and what a game it was. Very interesting, very cool. I was all for it. We are actually hosting another tournament currently on my Discord, a low funds tournament. So we are going to be having some low funds games coming out very, very soon. We're going to have a week of low funds when the tournament is finally over, and it's going to be an absolute blast. So if you want to join in on fun tournaments and fun events such as this, join my Discord below. And until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.